So I just came from the surgeon's office. He's amazing, by the way. One thing I like about him is that he's genuine. So that means also that he's very direct. He tells you exactly as things are. So he, as I expected, he recommends a double mastectomy. He recommends that because of the IBC, inflammatory breast cancer, the way it is, it can spread across. And it may have, started that process already because it's in the skin, it's regional. So he recommends a double mastectomy for that reason, also because of the rate of recurrence of this type of breast cancer. It's pretty high. And he also told me that the 5-year survival rate, this is even with treatment, is 40% of people with stage 3C inflammatory breast cancer that I have. Now, I knew this from reading, and I believe he said it earlier, but it just really, it was hard for me to hear today. It was hard to hear that. I am a woman of faith, and I know that my story, God has already told me I'll overcome this, but I'm having a bit of a rough emotional time right now. So he said that, the 5-year survivability is 40%, and the likelihood of recurrence is pretty high. So with the 5-year survival rate, that means that, how many people live after 5 years of, with this type of cancer, even after treatment, it's just 40% of the people. I'm counting myself as part of that 40. We know that is scientific, but we also know that I am a woman of faith, and God has the final say concerning my life. But also thinking about removing my breasts. Scientifically, I know it is sound. As a public health professional, I know what it means in terms of risk reduction. But it's marrying that with what I have known all my life, which is my breasts. My breasts were used to feed my 2 children. I've wanted to have more kids. So this cancer is just, in limits. It's trying to rob everything of me, but it will not. It lowers your fertility, and then also you won't be able to breastfeed your children, if you do have kids. So it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. I'm blessed with the children that I have, and I'm okay. But I had the idea that something can try to limit that for you. And also, I do know that there are women who don't breastfeed, and that's okay too. It's just, I've known my breasts. I've had them. They are part of who I am. So just thinking about, removing both of them, what that even does, I was talking to my mentor sister, Mary, and she was telling me about how, this type of breast cancer, especially with the surgery, what impact that can also have on your relationships, your marriage. My husband is in full support of me. Whatever is going to increase my chances of being alive is what his supports. So I'm grateful for that. But I do know the reality as well. You expect that it's going to create changes in your intimacy, and also in many different ways. So that's what I'm having a hard time marrying, with the science, and also with the faith, with regards to, if I am saying that I know God is going to heal me fully, does that also mean, and I know that one of his ways of healings is through physicians and medical work, but for me, does this mean removing my breast? Is it an act of faith to remove my breast if I believe that I'm not going to get this to come back again? So that's just where I need more prayer and leaning in, is making sure that I have a sound mind by the time this comes. A sound mind in terms of this is the decision I will make. I want to die with what I was born with. Sister Mary did tell me, she was talking about God wills for you to live long, and to live out as He has planned for you to live and accomplish what He has wanted you to accomplish, and also to be there for your children. So that is the part that, yes, I understand, but there is also the other stuff that I have mentioned as well. So these are the things that are in my mind. I'm praying for a sound mind when it comes to this decision, understanding the recommendations, and also understanding the spiritual implications as well, and emotional implications, and the relational implications of doing that double mastectomy. So that's what he spoke with me about. We checked, he did an ultrasound, checked the tumors and saw that they have become smaller, so that's good. He checked in my lymph nodes. Some are still pretty big, so he's like, we got to get that down. And of course, I'm just at the halfway point. So by God's grace, by the end of March, when I'm done with treatment with chemo, they should have shrunk considerably lower. So I got to see how a normal axillary lymph node looks like. That was pretty neat. And to see how mine were big in comparison to that. He did say they felt like golf balls. So they have shrunk a bit, but they're still pretty big. And he says that he thinks he'll have to go down at least 2 layers of the lymph nodes. I asked him what are the, long-term effects of having my lymph nodes removed. And he said lymphedema. That is the swelling of the arm. That's something that I should expect, especially if it goes through the 3 layers. So hopefully you won't have to go through all the 3 layers of the lymph nodes. There are a couple of layers the way they are aligned, but he can definitely see that he would have to go through to at least 2 of them. Yeah. So that is the outcome of my visit with the surgeon. To help with the lymphedema, I'll have to work on, making sure I'm maintaining a healthy weight, keeping my arms in position where there's better drainage as much as possible. So all of that will come when it comes. He doesn't recommend that I do He doesn't recommend that I do a reconstructive surgery right away, because of, the IBC. Usually recurrences, you can start having recurrence after 2 years. So he wants me to go at least past the 2-year mark before thinking about reconstruction. And I asked him about nipple preservation, which I didn't expect because it is in the skin. He said they can't do nipple preservation. So they will literally just give you, implants with no nipple. Yeah, so that is the outcome from my visit. On Monday I go for more scans to look at it more closely, but that was the outcome from today's visit. I'm allowing myself to go through the emotions that I'm going through, but I do know the ultimate outcome for myself, which is healing, full and total healing. So that's what I will cling to, but I will allow myself so that I don't bottle this in, to experience what I'm experiencing and process it as I need to. All hope is not lost. This is part of my journey. I just need to, I'm still praying for clarity when it comes to making sure that I'm on board fully, like I have a sound mind concerning this surgery. So God is still on the throne.